Sup Tinies, Brenden from Graphic Armor again, here with another tech tip. If you're working a lot with acrylic and you're still saw cutting it, you're ending up with an edge like this, but you want an edge like this, I've got the solution for you. So in order to get that perfect glass finish edge on the acrylic, we're going to do a process called flame polishing. Flame polishing involves a butane torch where you run around the edge and you're melting the acrylic edge in order to make it smooth. Now, before we jump on and start burning the acrylic, we need to actually sand the edge so it's buffed out most of the scratches, and then we can go through and put fire to it. Now, some of the tools that we're going to need to get that glass finish. For smaller items, you can get away with a bench orbital. Now, I'm using 80 grit and 150 grit sandpaper. The two-stage allows me to get most scratches out from when it was saw cut. If I'm working with bigger panels, I'm going to use a belt sander. I've got 80 grit on this, and then after that I will go through and use a 400 grit wet and dry sandpaper. Then as an option, I'll use a 1200 wet and dry sandpaper. Now, as you can see, it's already fully involved. Your best bet is to get a laser to up the efficiency of your workshop, because this can be quite costly in terms of time. And then finally, blowtorch. Now, keep in mind, it does blow actual fire, so it's a fire hazard, so be careful when you're using it in your own workshop. Now that we've gone through the first two stages with the orbital, we've gotten a semi-rough finish on the edge. A few little bit blemishes here and there, but nothing too major. What we really want to do with those first two stages is get out a lot of the deep gouges, if there are any, or any skips from when you accidentally slip on the saw. Because if we are working with a piece like this, it's going to be a lot more difficult and take a lot longer for us to actually get that nice smooth glassy finish. So now moving on to the wet and dry process, I'm using 400 grit sandpaper at the moment, and I've got my own little PVC block that I've glued together. I like using PVC because it gives me a flatter, more rigid surface to work with, as opposed to using a cork sand block. And I'm just going to spray the sandpaper just like that. I'm going to work in a circular motion because that's the exact same direction as which the orbital was traveling as well. And I'm just going to move back and forth until I can visibly see that it's slightly getting clearer. Propping it up on something also helps as well. Just sort of spin it around and get the job to work around you rather than you working around the job. For the corners, I'm going to work in a back and forth motion. I'm not worried about scratching the face of the acrylic because there's still paper on the back of it. Usually I'll take the paper off when I go to flame it, because you don't want the paper to burn while it's still on the acrylic. Now, I'm not sure if the camera's going to pick up that difference, but you can sort of start to see that it's getting a little bit smoother. Now, with safety in mind, you are playing with an open flame, so just be careful when you're using this in your own workshop, and do this in a well ventilated area. So now we're starting the flame polishing process. What we want to do is we want to keep the flame moving at a moderate pace. Now, as you can see, nice and shiny. Now, I wouldn't have had that effect if I use this piece because it's still super rough. I'll show you what's actually going to happen if I do Do it while it's rough still. So if I go the same speed as I did before, I'm still going to end up with lots of blemishes in it. So that's why it's very important that you get the sanding done properly. And just like that, we've got some sign ready acrylic to mount any print onto. For the best result, reverse printed, backed in white, mounted on standoffs for that classy finish. You know, if you're in the market for a BRM or a laser, feel free to contact your local graphic art mart or your rep to get the journey started.